Hi, this is Lauren from LSP Actions and welcome to the video tutorial overview for the LSP Signature Newborn Photoshop Actions Suite. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to download, extract and install your actions into Photoshop and give an overview of what's included. If you already know how to do all this, you can skip right ahead to the next video where we dive into the editing tutorials. This is a get started guide, so let's get started. After downloading from the website, you'll notice that the LSP Signature Newborns are in a compressed or zipped folder. If you're on Windows, you need to right-click and choose Extract All, and this will unzip and extract the files from inside. And if you're on a Mac, you can double-click or use the Archive utility. It's important you unzip this folder before using, and you'll notice it opens up as an open folder. Inside, you'll see three versions. For Creative Cloud, that is the kind of pay monthly subscription, latest, newest versions of Photoshop. You'll see for CS5 to CS6, these are the kind of the older versions of Photoshop, the standalone versions of Photoshop that you would have purchased kind of 5 years ago and beyond. And then you have the version for Photoshop Elements. So you can simply go ahead and open up the correct folder, and to get them into Photoshop, you can just double click. You will see a box pop up saying one or more shortcuts. We'll hide the menu key shortcuts, remove. Hit no, because this is for the LSP Select and Fix F2 shortcut. You're going to want to keep that there, so make sure you hit no. If you accidentally hit yes, don't worry. In the LSP Actions Facebook group, it shows you exactly how to get that shortcut back, or simply remove the actions and try again. You don't need it there, but it will make editing easier because it means you can hit F2 to use the Select and Fix action if you want to. Any issues with installing your actions, you can visit the LSP Actions website at www.lsp-actions.com and you'll be able to find the complete installation step-by-step guides there if you run into any problems at all. In Elements, you need to come up to Window and choose Actions. Click the little lines at the top of the action palette and choose Load Actions. And locate your unzipped folder, open the Photoshop Elements one and double-click. And you'll see the actions appear here in Photoshop Elements. To play an action, you simply choose it and hit the play button. But this tutorial, I'm going to go back over into Creative Cloud. To view your Photoshop actions in Photoshop Creative Cloud, CS5 or CS6, you need to come up here to Window and choose Actions. And you'll notice the actions appear. The Signature Newborn is right at the bottom. You might have loads of actions in here like I do, or you might just have a few. You can click the little drop down next to the group and scroll down and you can see the Signature Newborn actions in grey editing mode. In grey editing mode, you can click the action, choose the play button and it will play out. You need to have your layers panel visible too. If you can't see your layers panel, come up here to Window and make sure you choose Layers. This is really helpful. Of course, you don't need the layers panel open, but this will really help you when it comes to kind of tweaking and tuning the editing. I like to drag the set all the way up to the top of the actions panel here. So it's right at the top anytime I need it, because trust me, you are going to want to use these for every single session. I also like to grab the actions if they're free floating and drag them in until the blue line appears and they kind of connect and lock in next to your layers, meaning they don't overlay your image. Now you can continue to use the actions in grey editing mode, that's absolutely fine, just make sure you don't hit any of these boxes here. I prefer to use the actions in coloured button mode and I've gone ahead and colour coded everything for you. Come up to these little lines on top of the action palette and choose button mode. And you'll see they appear in these coloured tabs. Now they might look really messy like this, that's not helpful for anyone. So hover on the side of the action panel until these arrows appear. Drag it in slowly until it snaps in a nice neat column. And now you can see that they all make sense. So I'm just going to go ahead, get rid of that layer there by dragging it to trash so we can get started. This image here was shot by Anna Brandt and I'm just going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit. I'm just going to give you an overview of what's included and explain the sections to you, but this is not an editing tutorial. For the main tutorials, again, you can visit the LSP Actions website under Video Library, find Signature Newborn, and you can see the actual step-by-step editing video tutorials there. Before you get started, click on your brush And make sure the settings are normal, 100% opacity and 25% flow. The actions will choose the correct brush for you, but you're going to want to make sure those settings are in place before you start. If you're in Elements, you can just change to 50% opacity. You can make the brush bigger or smaller by pressing the bracket keys on your keyboard to make it bigger or smaller, or you can right click and change the brush size up here. Make sure it's a soft round brush. So at the top, the first toolkit section, you have instructions. You can click this and it will play out a series of instructions about the newborn set, your brush settings, as we just mentioned, how to use the actions, how to use layer masks, and what to do if error codes pop up. Underneath this, you have a snapshot and flatten. I recommend regularly taking a snapshot and flattening throughout your edit. Every snapshot you take, it will appear here in your history panel. And that way you can go back to any states, and it keeps your layers panel clean and tidy. Just remember, any snapshotted states, they will not save when you save the file. So you're going to want to make sure that you're happy with those, but you absolutely should be as you go on. Delete unused layers. If you've got any layers that you're not using in the panel, you can click this and it will automatically remove them as long as they are hidden. And you can use the batch actions to, if you've got like several images open, you can batch the same actions over several images by clicking on this. It will open up the batch box, choose whichever action you want to batch, source opened files, and hit OK. And what that will do, I've just selected the instant lights up action, for example. It's going to play it out over all these images really, really quickly. And it works in seconds. Now to the main editing part. Section 1 is the instant balance fix. Each section has instructions that you can click on just to remind you what the section does if you need it. These are instant, so you'll notice when you hit these, for example, the lights up or cool down, for example, you can just click this. It does exactly what it says, very, very gently. You can either play the action more than once until you reach the your desired kind of look, or you can come up here and slide the opacity on your layers panel. I'm just going to delete those. Underneath you have warm up, cool down, divine contrast watch, magic baby balancer. Magic baby balancer is great. It will automatically adapt to your image to balance up those shadows, calm any highlights, gently tweak those reds and oranges of your image. And you can slide the opacity up or down depending. It's very, very tempting to jump in and get started straight away editing the skin, but really if you can balance your image first using these quick sections, skin editing is going to be a lot easier. Underneath this you have the multi-layer bases. You have the Baby Quick Fix Proof workflow. This one will set up a multitude of brush layers, meaning they are black layer masks, not white layer masks, they'll be black. You simply click and you can paint directly onto your image, and I'll explain these in the editing tutorial. You also have the base 2, which is the newborn skin perfection. This will set up a load of skin layers for you, done for you. You can just jump straight in. So let me show you. Base number 1, the Baby Quick Fix Proof workflow. This is really good for a fast edit if you want to just quickly dive in. Perhaps you want to batch this over several images at once. Maybe you want to just quickly proof while your clients are getting a cup of tea to show them the images. You have Reduce Reds Gentle, so you can just start painting this on. You can see here that it's just lifting the red areas out of the image. I'm just going through this quickly. This is not an editing tutorial. Cheeks and lips, you can pop a little bit of redness on the cheeks and lips. Soften the skin down. Paint away any yellow toning. Because your brush is set to 25% flow, you can just rub this over the areas until you've reached the desired effect and then release the mouse. Warm and lift skin tone. Bring back any details, great for eyelashes, perfect for the lips, any areas like that. This is a very, very gentle edit, very, very fast. The whole idea with this one is that you can just quickly click the black boxes, darken areas here for example, click the black boxes and just paint on as required, really, really quickly. So that's how to do a really fast edit using that one. But this is all explained much more in the editing tutorials. The Newborn Skin Perfection base, these are both bases, meaning multi layers. They play literally hundreds of commands. I think in Newborn Skin Perfection it plays 900 and something action commands. Imagine all those individual clicks and it plays it out in seconds. And again, these are all brush layers from now on. So you have the Newborn Perfect skin base. You can literally just start brushing this over any areas of the skin you wish to clean up. And you can see it's getting rid of all those little flakes, keeping the skin lovely and soft, but not overly soft. So baby does not turn out looking like a porcelain doll, which is a sign of over editing. You don't want to over edit at all. If you're finding your edits are too soft, you're going to need to kind of rethink that a little bit there. But with Signature Newborn, your skin will, the integrity of the skin texture will remain intact whilst removing any acne and flakes. Blotchy Mottled Skin Fix, this is good for any blotchy areas. Softer skin again. Skin retexture, if you do go too soft, you can just use this to retexture some of the skin back in there, but without bringing in the acne. Detail Pop. Contrast, adding contrast over the skin is a lovely way to make it pop. The toner gets rid of any reds and yellows, just very gently. And then Milky Bright just adds a touch of brightness to the face. That's the Newborn Skin Perfection workflow there. But those are just the fast workflows. And then you have Take a Snapshot and Flatten. What that will do, it will snapshot and flatten. And in your history panel, you can go ahead and see these different snapshots. So you can click at any point. Snapshot just basically saves your editing exactly where it was at that time, and it saves the layers in there too. The lighting brush section. These are brushes again, so it will select a white brush for you. You have Brighten Up Softly, Brighten Up Full, Darken Down, Add Depth, Subtle Contrast, Light and Shadows Balance. So I've just played Add Depth, and you'll see this is adding a beautiful glowing depth to the image. The Light and Shadows Balance brush is really nice if you've got any particularly dark areas you just want to lift a little bit without perhaps blowing the highlights out. And if the highlights are too bright of your image, this will automatically take those down too. Next up, we're onto the Skin Retouch brush section. I'm just going to snapshot and flatten that. And this is where the magic really starts happening. You have little flakes vanish. So if you've just got a little bit of flaky skin there, this action is for you. Then you have the Newborn Skin Pro section. The Newborn Skin Pro Gentle is for if baby has a little bit of acne, is a little bit flaky, perhaps you use this one. Newborn Skin Pro Perfection is literally what it says on the tin. It's absolutely perfect. This will remove any blemishes, any flakes without degrading the skin tone, without making the skin look plastic or anything like that. Under this you have Newborn Skin Pro Extreme. This is for the babies that come in, mama brings them in the car seat and you go, oh god, absolutely beautiful baby, but that morning they have come out in the most extreme baby acne that you know will be gone in a few days. It's always on photo shoot day. Newborn Skin Pro Extreme is for those babies who are extremely medically covered in the baby acne in the forehead, coming up into the hairline, everywhere like that. That's when you're going to use that action. But again, the video tutorials will speak you through that. Calm Blotchy Patchy Skin. This is great if you've got any blotches and patches really that you want to get rid of that are perhaps not so textured, areas that you just need to kind of blend in a little more with the actual skin tone without kind of overly smoothing it or overly doing it or having to use frequency separation or anything like that. So that just really helps kind of even out that skin tone there. Peely Wrists and Ankles Lotion. This is for those shedding skin on the wrists, the fingers, the hands, the toes, anywhere like that. It seems to come off in large sheets on those areas, so you're going to want to use that action there. Skin Retexturizer, again, this is if you've had to go in very heavy with the edit. The Skin Retexture adds the integrity back into the skin without adding blemishes back in again. Red Fingers and Toes, exactly what it says on the tin. All of these actions are very, very intuitively arranged. So if you see something in your image you wish to fix, you go, oh, baby's got red fingers. You look in the Skin Retouch and you find a Red Fingers and Toes karma. Reduce the reds, Bye Bye Jaundice. If baby turns up and they're very, very jaundiced that morning, use Bye Bye Jaundice to kind of correct those orangey, yellow, purpley tones. Skin Lift and Pop Milky Bright, paint away shiny areas. Baby soft skin and rosy pink cheeks and lips. I'm just using that to get rid of some of that shine there. So all of these actions combined, you can look at your image and you can decide which actions you're going to want to play, which actions you need. So you look at your image, you think, which actions do I need? Is it going to be in the skin retouch? Is it going to be in this color correct section here? You have reduced the reds normal and strong, go away green shadows. So if you have any greeny areas kind of appearing in the skin, you can use that just to cover them up a little bit. Especially if you've had to do some heavy redness reducing, you may have some green. Purple skin lift and boost, great for the feet and the legs. Any areas of baby really, make sure your exposure is correct and you may not even need to use that one. Orange calm, so if baby looks like they have too many orangey kind of patches on the skin, you can use that one. Yellow remover, grey skin boost, vibrant skin tone, warm up baby, and you can play them all and mix and match. Next up you have the gorgeous detail section. Lift grey eye sockets, so if the eye sockets are in shadow, if your light was coming down and baby's brow area has created shadows around the eyes, you can use lift grey eye sockets. Eyelid smooth and tone, quite often babies have kind of red veins and flakes on the eyelids, you can use that one. Sharpen the lashes and details, great for the eyelashes, the lips, the fingers, any areas you wish to really pop. Eye goo calm, so if baby has some gooey yellow stuff around their eyes, you can use that one. Bright open eyes, if baby's eyes are open, use that one to really make those eyes pop. And baby soft lip balm, if baby's lips are looking a little dry, you can use the baby soft lip balm, brush this one over and it will create a lovely smooth effect to those lips without kind of losing the actual sharpness or the detail of the lips there. Next you have the Divine Foundations brushes. You have Creamy Soft Pale Skin, Creamy Velvet Dark Skin, Peachy Magic Punch, Ivory, Honey, Olive, Chestnut and Taupe. So all of these combined, you can literally brush them over the skin and it will literally create that creamy, dreamy, consistent skin tone in there. And if at any point you think, well, it looks a little yellow, looks a little orange, you can just go ahead and change that straight away back on the colour correction section. So you can just flip around and, you know, think what you need to use and use it in there. After this, you have the Snapshot and Flatten, which is recommended. And then you have the manual editing section. This is for those of you who really want to manually take control of your image. You have the LSP Select and Fix action. This is for correcting areas of your image. For example, areas of the skin, like a large flaky spot, for example, you can use it there. Create a duplicate fixing layer first. Grab the patch tool, and remember the full tutorial is on the website. This is just quick. And you can go over any areas you need to fix, extending a background, fixing the skin, removing a hand, for example. If you've got a hand or a finger supporting baby's head, you could always use Select and Fix in there, just to kind of correct and remove any areas of your image that need sorting. Literally any areas, correct, Select and Fix will do. So we've got some little fakey bits here, for example. So you can just select, hold down Shift, select a few areas. This is not the full tutorial, don't worry. You can watch the full step-by-step tutorial, so don't worry if I'm going fast. I'm just kind of giving you an overview of how this works. Underneath this you have frequency separation. You have some instructions on all of these as well that show you exactly how to use these. With LSP frequency separation, it works the same way as normal frequency separation. You have the textures separated from the tones there. And you also have a blank layer for painting. And you have a burn and a dodge brush too. So you have these extra layers with frequency separation, which is really, really cool. But for the full tutorial of how to actually use frequency separation, you can visit the LSP Actions website. It's not something to be afraid of. If you've not used it before, it's actually really quite simple when you get your head around it. It's just a little bit time consuming. If you've used all the actions above, like the skin fix actions, you probably won't need to use frequency separation. But it's in there for you if you do want to as an option. You have Remove Flakes manual. The instructions again pop up and show you exactly how to use this one. You can play Remove Flakes there. That means you can set your own parameters for removing flaky areas of your image. The Blanket Fade Paint brush allows you, for example, perhaps your beanbag stand ends here and you need to fade in, or maybe you've got some jagged areas or anything like that that you wish to fade the background. So you simply double click here and click a tonal area of the background. Again, this is not the full tutorial at all. This is just a quick a quick overview just to show you how this works. So just using that blanket fade there, we can switch over to a black brush over here, or by hitting X on the keyboard, and paint this off the baby. And we've just delicately faded that blanket in there. Very, very quickly done, but I'll show you properly on the main tutorials. And then you have blanket crease fixer. So if you've got a smooth backdrop and it has some creases in it, oh look, this one's got a few creases. The blanket fade crease, it works very much in the same way that as frequency separation does. So you play the blanket crease fix action, and this will just start ironing out any of those creases. So you just simply sample and paint, and that will help iron out any creased areas of your background. And below this you have snapshot and flatten again. And then we're into the finish and polish section. These have lovely finishing washes: creamy matte, dark and woody, hazy white, matte, pastel pink, all the colours here, all the overlays that you can play. For example, let's go for, which I just click on, Peachy Perfect there, and it adds these beautiful overlays to your image when you've finished editing. You just click them and play, or you can play all of them and mix and match. Again, the tutorials will probably show you how. Black and white section now, you have instructions again, how to use this. You have create a new image for black and white, which is really, really helpful. And this will stop you saving over the original image if you would like to create a black and white version and a normal version. You have all the black and whites here. You can play, decide which one works for you. And then you have black and white tweaks. And these play brushes that allow you to brighten or darken, dodge or burn your black and white to really create that beautiful, true black and white image. Underneath this you have the one-click final polish, whether you're in colour or black and white. And by the way, if you're black and white now, you have a separate image copy. You can save this as the black and white version and it will not affect your original image. For example, here's the original. The one-click final polish, you bring up the lights, turn down the lights, add some subtle contrast, medium or heavy, add a vignette which you can then slide the opacity. This darkens those edges in. You can also paint on or off that mask and sharpen. Below this you have the Facebook resize. You have Facebook resize for landscape and for portrait, Instagram resize and website. On the Facebook resize and Instagram, these also create a new image, so there's no chance of accidentally saving over your original. So let me just show you. You have a simple resize that will just literally resize your image so you can save it as a new version, a white frame resize, and an elegant resize. So you just simply click on these, creates a brand new image for you, and it will shrink it down to Facebook size here. So this has actually now been resized for Facebook, and you have different frame options you can add to, which are really eye-catching when sharing your images to Facebook. So you see there, beautiful frame option. And this has been resized already for Facebook there, so you don't accidentally save over your original image. And the same for website and Instagram. So that's an overview of the LSP Signature Newborn Photoshop Action Suite. You can go ahead and watch the full video tutorials where I walk you step by step every section, editing a multitude of different babies over different videos so you can see exactly how every action works. Any questions, you can pop them over into the LSP Actions Facebook group. That's Facebook/groups/Lemon Sky Actions. So I'll see you over on the next video tutorials. I'm Lauren. Thanks for watching.